Welcome everyone back to Wrestling with Politics. My name is Joel Perez, and today we're going to be talking about the future of independent political movements in the United States. And it's easy to believe that just because the election is over, that means that the fight is over. Donald Trump is the president. He won already. We all voted. What more is there to say? Well, that's exactly why I'm making this video, because there is a lot more to say. And as a matter of fact, in reality, this is just where the fight begins. Because Donald Trump, he already got your vote. And if Donald Trump wants to, he can do the same thing that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did and ignore your concerns and instead serve the interest of his billionaire donors like Elon Musk, who gave him $80 million, and Zionist Miriam Adelson, who gave him $100 million. So the only way that we can ensure that Donald Trump serves the interest of the American people is by making him fear that if he doesn't do what we want, things won't be going very well for Donald Trump. And by making it so that Donald Trump, he can't even leave the White House without hearing the demands of the American people. Because politicians, they can make all the promises that they want. But like I said from the beginning on this channel, political lesson number 1 is that power concedes nothing without a demand. And that's why I'll never stop fighting for independent movements, because I know what many people are thinking, especially those supportive of independent movements. They're thinking Jill Stein only got half a point in the 2024 presidential election. Are independent movements ever going to gain enough support to actually win? Is it worth it to continue to fight this battle if we can't win? And third-party movements and third-party candidates always lose? Well, to anyone who has had that thought process over the past couple of days, I just wanted to say that I completely understand your perspective, but I just wanted to remind you that half a percentage point of the vote that Jill Stein got, it might sound small, but it's not, because that half a point actually equals to about 700,000 people. That's larger than the population of many U.S. states, and Jill Stein was able to do that in a system that is rigged against third-party candidates and without the millions of dollars and media machines that the other candidates had. And those are 700,000 people who voted against genocide, 700,000 people who voted against the two-party system, and 700,000 people who voted against the status quo. So I just want to remind you that you are not alone in this movement. And anyone who tells you that is just trying to gaslight you and propagandize you, because Jill Stein wasn't even the only third-party candidate on the ballot either. There was Libertarian candidate Chase Oliver, who got 600,000 votes in his own respect. Robert Kennedy Jr. was still on the ballot and he dropped out. So he was still on the ballot in many states and he almost received as many votes as Jill Stein. So imagine if he had stayed in the race, how many votes he would have gotten then. And all in total, third-party candidates ended up receiving over 2 million votes in this election. So there was a tremendous appetite for other options on the ballot in this election. And if you look forward to 2028, there's not going to be as big of a challenge for third parties and independent movements, because Donald Trump, if you think about it, for the first time in 8 years, isn't going to be on the Republican ticket, and he takes up a lot of attention. So Democrats also have to find a new candidate for 2028. And for the first time in a long time, the political landscape will be reset, giving the perfect opportunity for a new era of independent candidates to make a huge impact. And that's not to say that independents didn't have a huge impact on this election, because they did. Kamala Harris lost this election because she failed to speak to every single person who voted third party. Instead of offering independent voters anything for their vote, she decided to ignore their interest. And for as many people who voted third party, even more decided not to come out and vote at all. So I'll admit it, I did learn one thing from this election, and it's that yes, the United States does operate under a two-party system. And as long as that system is in place, it's going to be very difficult for independent movements to grow. But that's the thing though. One of those two major parties just lost 10 million votes from the last election. And the Democratic Party doesn't seem to be learning much of anything from their mistakes in 2024. So as the Democratic Party continues to fall into obscurity and irrelevancy for no longer serving the interests of working class voters, that gives room for an independent movement to rise up and take their spot in this two-party system. So I just wanted to say to anyone feeling discouraged, don't give up, because this fight is just getting started. Believe me, just with this YouTube channel alone, I can't believe the amount of support that we've seen. And it's because the energy is there. People can feel it. The truth, it has a certain sound to it. And when you hear it, you know what you just heard. There are so many people who want to bring change to this country, who just want to see a brighter future. And in reality, that's why Donald Trump won, because he promised people exactly that, a brighter future. Whether or not he delivers on that, I'm gonna fight, and hopefully you'll fight with me to make sure that he does keep those promises. But the point is, there are so many people who want to see these wars end, who want to see the end to the genocide, and people who want to see the rise of these third party and independent movements. If we want to see that, all we have to do to make that a reality is fight for it. And I promise you, it will come to pass, and we will see that day.